Lately, I've found myself wanting to play Stardew Valley at every waking moment. Created by one man, this game is a masterpiece. In Stardew Valley, you're fleeing a corporate life to tend to your late grandfather's farm, befriend the locals, forage and explore caverns, or go fishing. It's usually a wholesome and relaxing game, but it has a dark side. This peaceful town has a looming threat. Even in the quiet countryside, you can't escape corporate greed. In a normal playthrough, the majority of your time goes to completing the community center. However, evil always finds a way. Today, I will be playing Stardew Valley the unintended way. I will be aiding the very corporation I fled in destroying the local economy. Who better to aid the Joja Corporation in their goals than Gil Bates, a legendary businessman? I will be taking on the challenge of playing the river farm and choosing to side with Joja, arguably the two worst decisions you can make in Stardew Valley. Other than marrying Haley, but who in their right mind would do that? Surely no one would do that. On day 1, I began this terrible idea. There was a package left for me, and it contained 15 parsnip seeds. Usually, these are your first real income and very important for the community center. I decided to check the TV, as a lot of helpful information comes via the different channels. I then exited the house after absorbing the knowledge. I had never seen the river farm layout, so I was interested in seeing what I had to work with. Overall, it's not actually that bad. Multiple islands which could be separated off for the required tasks of running a farm. I would have to apply manual labor in order to achieve my capitalistic dream, so I decided to plant the parsnip seeds. So I hoed, I planted, I watered. These are the 3 features of farming: sowing your seeds and impregnating the land. It ain't much, but it's honest work. I chopped down enough trees to acquire a chest so that way I could store my items. I decided to then explore the town. I found a man in a potato sack by the river. Apparently he lives out here alone. I also came across a purple-haired girl named Abigail, who admitted she trespasses on my property and is sad that she wouldn't be able to do that anymore. I wasn't exactly sure how to feel about that, so I moved on, and then I saw her. She was beautiful. She was taking pictures of the natural scenery with her camera, and she was so invested in it that she couldn't even notice me. Her name was Haley, and this would have to change. I would have her attention. On the second day, I received a letter from Willie about getting a fishing rod. I planned to do this later, but as I was tending to my crops, it dawned on me. Usually, you need 5 golden parsnips for the community center, so these crops matter in your first spring. This would normally be the time for panic, but my destiny revolved around money. I no longer cared about the parsnips for anything other than their monetary value. I finished watering them and headed to the docks, where Willie gave me his rod. No, literally, he gave me his old fishing rod. What did you think I meant? I fished for the rest of the day and bagged a few good catches, including an iridium trout and a diamond from the treasure chest. I sold it all. On day 3, I needed 5,000 gold to buy a Joja membership since I was going the corporate route. I earned a modest 2,000 gold the day before with my fishing, so I decided the easiest course of action would be to fish until I had enough money to buy it. I would also need to prepare to buy strawberries, as they are one of the most valuable spring crops. Since I needed a lot of money, I would need to be productive and plotting in my plans. If I wanted to achieve these goals quickly, that is. While debating these thoughts, I had an intense standoff with a fish. In the end, I lost. I was saddened by this loss, but I knew it was just a mere setback for the forces of evil. Not much happened on day 4. On day 5, however, Marnie brought a dog to my door. Yogi. Ah, yes, the perfect name. The parsnips were finished, so I sold them and realized I could actually purchase the Joja membership, or alternatively, I could invest in a bigger backpack. Joja doesn't sell one of these, so I had to go to Pierre's. After I bought the bag, I went straight back to fishing with the intent of buying the membership the next day. A lot of my early game journey here would be fishing without much else happening, but that's fine, because Gil Bates is a master baiter. He has the gills of a fish and the bait of a fish, or... Who has me reading this script? Seriously, what I need a raise. I had the money for a membership again, so I headed to the Joja Mart and talked to Morris to finalize everything. The next day, I needed to start working towards upgrading my tools, so I needed to go to the mines, but how would I balance this with the making of my income? Well, Gil Bates is a smart man. He would harness the power of television to dictate his days. If it were a good luck day, he would go mining. If it were a bad luck day, then, well, it's a bad luck day, so everything sucks, so it kind of doesn't matter. It was a very good luck day, so I headed to the mines. When I got there, an old man gave me a sword for stabbing things. Every 5 floors there was an elevator, so the goal was to descend as fast as possible for now, farming any valuables I could on the way. Every couple floors you get rewarded with a chest that has a piece of armor in it, and these are pretty lackluster, but on the 11th floor I got a special slime that had a gold star. It dropped me a small magnetic ring, not a big score, but rather helpful early on. Over the next few days, I proceeded to go between the mines and fishing. I got a broken trident, which was a much stronger weapon than the one I had. On the 13th of spring is the Egg Festival, which is the one day of the year you can buy strawberry seeds, which are the best crop of spring. I bought 50 of them, a small number for now, but I needed my money. So I planted all of them. I would have to water them, as I hadn't leveled up my farming skill enough to obtain sprinklers yet. It also was the 14th now, so I gave Haley a gift she liked, gaining me some attention for her birthday. My colleague Morris delivered a fatal blow to Pierre's business by walking into his store and announcing he had free 50% off coupons for Joja. He swiped away all of Pierre's loyal customers. How could Pierre compete with this? Well, he couldn't. Morris may be ruthless, but would he be prepared for the day that I could afford to buy him and the company he works for? This was a good question, I wondered. As spring went on, my tasks became more of a waiting game. I tended to my strawberries and fished so I could afford to purchase the greenhouse, as that would be my quickest route to stable income. After enough time passed, I was able to purchase the greenhouse by the 1st of summer. I then invested the last of my money into filling the greenhouse with blueberries, as early on they're one of the best regrowing crops. Joja doesn't sell them. Probably because they're worried of other people using it to dethrone their billion-dollar empire, so I had to buy these from Pierre. I'm sure he appreciated that. They say don't put all your eggs in one basket, but I was all in. Every dime I could spend, I spent on blueberries. I waited for them to grow. Every single day was a bad luck day, so I couldn't go to the mines, and really just everything just kind of sucked. I felt like the world was punishing me for helping Joja. Sometimes, maybe karma is real. I finally got quality sprinklers unlocked, so I could begin to automate the money process. With this out of the way, we were on our way to glorious profit. I headed to the mines, and as I almost died, I managed to hit floor 100 and get a star drop. These magical fruits give you more energy and are very useful. The next morning, I crafted the last of the sprinklers I needed to finish the greenhouse for now, and I also acquired the skull key from the bottom of the mine. The next purchase on my list was the bus stop, that way I could get coconuts because Haley loves those because they remind her of herself. It also occurred to me that I hadn't checked the fruit bat cave once yet, so I went ahead and gathered all the fruit as they make excellent gifts for friendship. At this point, I realized that I could acquire most of my needs via money passively, so all I had to do was sleep in bed. This was a revelation. They say that clever is a fellow to laziness, and I sure was a fellow. I finally acquired enough money to buy the bus stop and also build a silo so I could start getting animals, as I wanted cows for cheese, as golden cheese is an excellent source of food for surviving the Skull Caverns. I also helped Haley open a jar, which she really liked for some reason. I don't really know why. At this point, I was almost at the apex of my goals. I just needed to get enough iridium to get all of the tools upgraded and marry Haley. Diving through the Skull Caverns is no easy task, you have to be prepared. I bought meals from the merchant for rubies and diamonds to give me buffs. I also acquired the bigger backpack so I could carry more. I completed my first goal by the 5th of winter, complete the Joja warehouse and secure the town. Then suddenly, a prismatic shard. Now I could obtain the Galaxy Sword. This galactic sword creates itself out of the particles of the dead corporate space gods using 3 alien pylons and a rainbow rock. It's interesting, really. Using this, I could now descend Skull Caverns much faster and easier. At this point, it's basically just a time game of obtaining the rest of the iridium for my tools, so now I just need to focus on Haley, which turns out you can't do any of her hard events during winter, so I slept through the rest of the winter while making money. In spring, I finished upgrading the last of my tools and also had Haley's 8 heart event. After which, I gave her a bouquet and asked her to be my girlfriend. At the end of spring, I found an alien canister. Later, I realized the alien broke containment and all of my crops were dead because of the changing of seasons, so there's an alien out there somewhere. It's not my fault if it face hugs you. I waited for a rainy day so I might buy a mermaid's pendant, which is required to get married. Eventually, the rainy day finally came and I purchased the pendant, then headed to Haley's house and waited to go inside. which ended up triggering her 10-heart event where she revealed she has a photography room in the back of her house, which is perfect for when you need a dark and private space. After that, I gave her the pendant and she accepted it, so we were set to be married. I think I even got a letter. I don't really remember, I didn't care about it enough. The next day, we got married, and at this point, I had completed the main things I set out to do in this video. I'm not entirely sure if this will be amazing or be a flop, but I had fun, and I found it interesting just to play the game and come back later and create a narrative over top of it. Shout out to fellow YouTuber Ambiguous Amphibian, as I was inspired by his more recent content as a reason to try this out. Yes, I could have cheated to make this whole process a lot easier and faster, and pretty much do all of this in a matter of hours instead of days, but life is about the journey and the challenges we face. If we could cheat at every corner, what would there be to learn or experience? With that, a big thank you to my friends for encouraging this stupid idea. My name is Unleaded Fangs, and until next time, take care.